That's a good question that I get a lot. Whether or not I had to work on my skill but versus having natural raw talent, I think it's always going to be for most any singer is both. But I think what started me was the natural raw talent. I just liked singing. My grandfather actually had a beautiful singing has, excuse me, he's still alive. I'm sorry. He has a beautiful singing voice, and I always tried emulating him, and could hear that I was singing the right notes, type of thing. So I think there is a certain amount of raw talent where you can hear whether or not you're good at something. Then there's the whole argument of whether or not like you just hear something good but everyone else's ears are bleeding, type of thing. You've seen those crazy auditions on American Idol where they're like, I'm the best, and then they're just terrible, or, not very aesthetically pleasing as far as the ears are concerned. So there's always that argument. But you get so many compliments over the years, especially somebody like me who didn't get them so easily, in my opinion. I think it was just something I just knew about. But I did spend many years, many, many years training my voice. I've put a lot of work into my voice. I've taken voice lessons on many occasions, years at a time. I don't right now. I've given vocal lessons. I've had to study vocal health and things like that, just doing my own independent research. And singing every day in choirs really, really, really helps. I didn't start singing in a choir until I was in junior high, actually, but I started musical theater programs when I was 6. So I kind of had a choir, in a way, because you have to do music and rehearse the music. So in group form. So there was always the musical director who also was very partial to me over the years, which kind of provided vocal coaching in a way, which was really, really nice as kind of like free vocal coaching, which I loved. So yeah, I think it's a combination of both, but it's more technical than that. It's you hear the talent, but you have to work the talent too. You can't stop there. You could if you want to, you'll probably get somewhere, but there's no way that any professional singers that you see out there today are not taking vocal lessons or have a vocal health coach, something of that nature. That's such a good question for me. My vocal style has been a talking point in my mind for quite some time. I have always been a singer that emulates other singers. I know how to choose the singer that I can sound like. I could easily tell you that I could sing a Regina Spektor song and sound almost exactly like her. I can impersonate the chick from Evanescence, for example. Like I can alter my voice into so many things. I've even thought of voiceover acting because of it. But so that led to issues with me in my college choir. My director, we would do this thing called pop solos at Citrus College. I was a Citrus singer down the street for 3 years, and I loved that program. I learned so much. I got vocal coaching in that program. It was great. But he would often notice during this assignment, pop solos, where we'd have to perform in front of a group. It was a class called Applied Music, where all of the people that were in a musical program of some kind had to take it, where you actually apply your music to an audience. So some weeks it was the jazz band, some weeks it was this program, some weeks it was the Citrus Singers. So I would choose my song accordingly because I knew it would suit my voice. I could sound like just like the singer. I didn't add any extra vocal stylizing. I sang it right through just like it was the track itself. He had a huge problem with that. He loved the perfection of my voice. I was a very technical singer and I was like a robot. My voice was just perfect. I called it Old Faithful. It just came right out with the sound every time, and I couldn't understand. Clear as a bell, too. No air in my voice, no rasp in my voice, whatever. So I would spend time trying to sing along to songs and like find my own like way, but I was like, I couldn't do it. It was really, really weird. I just found myself always doing exactly what the singer was doing, very mechanical. I had friends over the years that taught themselves music, kind of sort of get me out of that. I honestly started smoking a lot of pot. That helped. it completely altered my voice. So or as far as comfortability singing, it changes your throat. Like it just does. It's, science or whatever, man. So there's that factor. I kind of had to rework my voice and work around whatever shortcomings I felt were going on because of my smoking habit. And eventually that led to taking breaks and then my voice would go back to normal pretty much. But I still had those like ways of singing that I had developed over time that it became my sound. I noticed I developed certain habits, certain ad libs that I just tend to do. I can do a lot more riffs than I used to be able to do. I started practicing vocal stylizing a lot more. I was just more melodic as a singer because I grew up singing classical music. So that took time. I feel like I think finding my sound it was just a lot of time and effort and realizing that you can't just do what everyone else does. You have to do your own thing and you really have to tap into your creative side. It's not easy. I think having a fear of the outcome when you're pursuing music and or the arts in general, it's also a general fear that I think most of us have. I think they call it going for broke for a reason because this is something you go for broke for. I I'm not necessarily afraid of failing. I'm afraid that I guess I get afraid that the talent will be recognized, sure, but that doesn't necessarily s- it's not synonymous with failure in my opinion. I don't really care about like what amount of success I get from it. So there, I guess I don't hold my that sort of emotion towards making music like a lot of other people do. And of course I did. And you're always going to feel like let down if you get the door shut in your face and you're trying to get into an office somewhere or remotely, of course, so you're trying to get into their email or whatever. But you got to be ready for that sort of trial and error. You can't let that keep you down. I think it's important to let the fear of it not working out in the long run as far as becoming the next pop star. It shouldn't keep you from trying to pursue music at all. I think there's so much music to be made and that you should just put it out there anyway. And I think that there are a lot of, if you really stay at it, you're going to make a lot of connections and build bridges that would keep you in the music field. So it's that whole, aim for the moon, but you could land among the stars type of deal. I think that keeps the fear away for me. Another excellent question. I think the catalyst for me that set like sort of really let me or for fueled my fire, I guess is what I want to say as far as pursuing music for real was the fact that I had that fire in me from a young age, never let it go. Join the Citrus Singers. I'm going to build bridges, make those connections. I did a lot of really good work. I became a professional singer because of that choir. I got recording demo gigs. I was on an episode of America's Got Talent as a backup singer in a choral setting. That was really, really cool. So I got to sing classical music professionally, which was like a super goal for me. I got to do studio singing. I'm sorry I said that. But those were all things that I was like, yeah, yeah, keep going. And then I completely flatlined. That was all when I was 21 and under, and I got into a relationship. It was, one of those toxic situations where it completely kept me from being creative. And I, that was from 23 to 28 or almost 28. It was like a week away from my birthday where he ended it. And I sort of didn't know what to do to fill my time. So it's of course, a tough breakup's the thing that's on your mind all the time, especially if you're not the person that ended it. So I started playing piano again and I put some videos on my Instagram and people just really responded. And after a while, it just became like I became known for it. And one day I went over to some former Citrus Singers friend, not his friends, it was his house and another Citrus Singer friend. It was like a little mini reunion, just a couple of us. They had me pick up the guitar because I noticed it. And they were like, yeah, you're the singer. You sing us something. And I thought about it. I'm like, but we're all singers. Like, all of us can sing in this room. All of us are very talented. One of them was like doing acting. She has an agent, you know? I was like, but they consider me the singer. And it was just something right then and there that made me feel like I'm doing the right thing by just continuing, just keep going, just keep doing what you do because people like it, people enjoy it, people want to see it and hear it. Even fellow singers who would be the pickiest of people, in my opinion, they consider me that person. And I feel like I just couldn't give that up if you paid me. I think we all get major tests as artists. I think I have received those moments in my life as an artist, but I don't think I'm anywhere near done. I feel like there will be more defining moments as an artist that I'll have that'll test me and whether or not I want to do this. I've had it happen with painting too, where it's like, I have a bunch of orders. Can I really do this? Or even with recording, a part for somebody else's song and getting it, make sure I get my part done before they decide to just, oh, put it out there. And then what happens if they blow up and then I don't because I didn't get my stuff submitted on time. So I've had glimpses of what it might be to work in the music industry more consistently as someone, as one of those, upper echelon people really putting their music out there and getting, contracts and such. That, of course, hasn't happened yet. So I think that will be a more trying period in my life if it ever does. But I think I've had moments that have tested me to where I could handle that going forward. For example, not making it for auditions. Like I've auditioned for The Voice, and then you have to face rejection. You have to not even make it for the first round. I've done it like 3 times. I've never even made it past the first round. That's a pretty big jab at your ego. You think, oh, the first, like, not even gonna like do like the pre TV screening, like you're just gonna like put me in front of these casting agents I've never seen and just reject me like that. I have a good voice. And sometimes you'll be like, damn, I was the best person in that room, but were you the best person in every room? Oh my gosh, you get that insecurity, but you just, yeah, you can't let it get to you. It's a test. It really is a test. Like, can you just ignore those no's and tell yourself yes until you get the right yes? Can you? Like, that is a pretty big question you have to ask yourself early on, if you really are gonna like go for broke like that.